One of my favorite things about traveling is coming across little hidden gems you don't realize you're going to find. Normally, when we set out on an adventure, we make plans to stop at well-known spots. Many times, those places are great. But really, the magical ones are the ones you chance stopping at along the way. A mineral-rich spring was discovered here in the late 1800s, and a small resort was erected by the falls with several mineral-rich pools. People would gather and soak and enjoy the view. Not much remains of the structures now, as nature has reclaimed most of it, but it's still a beautiful spot tucked away, hidden in the trees. It's still early spring, so there's still some snowmelt in the rivers, lakes, and falls. It's chilly, but not cold enough to stop me from taking a quick, refreshing dip. And one of my favorite places to do so is in a waterfall. Traveling through this valley, I knew there were a few hidden falls I hadn't seen. This one is a beautiful grotto fall that's normally got a lot more water rushing through it. Stories say that the cave behind these falls was a hideout back in the 1800s for a famous stagecoach robber.
Maybe I'll become a cave woman.
He would strike gold, rob all his fellow friends of their riches, and then hide out here, bathe in the falls, and then head back out on the road for his next victim. I imagine he slept up in the cave up there, but maybe that's just my imagination. I still had to check it out though.
You know what sounds incredibly refreshing right now? I'll give you one guess. Can you hear it? I hope you said a waterfall shower. It's gonna be freezing cold.
Despite the low water levels, it was still beautiful and a perfect pressure to step under at only 35 feet tall.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day, and this morning I'm really excited because I'm going to be showing you a new area that I've never been to. And this area is actually a location that one of my favorite movies was filmed at. Well, not all of them, but there was a scene in one of them that it was filmed at, and it's a beautiful area. I'm going to give you a huge guess, so make sure, not guess, I'm going to give you a huge hint, so make sure you pay attention, and then you have to leave me a comment down below and let me know which movie you think it's from. But before we get started, I have to have first things first, and that is, dun dun dun, my coffee! So I'm gonna blend up some iced coffee and get my day started. A lot of times I drink hot coffee because how can you beat a hot cup of coffee? But I think a nice iced blended coffee sounds great right now. But first, I want to take a minute to thank Jackery for sponsoring a portion of this video. I've been using Jackery's portable power solutions for a while now. They have portable power stations of all different sizes. I use them to power my camera equipment, cooking appliances, lights, my computer, my phone, you name it. They help me power it. And they're so portable, it's ideal. I can move it from my van to my truck to the boat. If you have an off-grid cabin, you can just move it wherever you need to. And because of that, it's ideal for emergency situations when you lose power. Their portable power stations use lithium-ion batteries, and they have built-in inverters. They're easy to move around, they're silent, and they're safe to use indoors. They also have multiple charge ports on the front for different types of charging. So there's USB-A, USB-C, there's wall outlets, and because there's multiple ports, you can charge multiple things at once. Spring and summer are just around the corner, and you know what that means? Warmer weather and more camping. So make sure you're ready. Go to Jackery.com and check out all their portable power solutions so that you're ready to get out there. Make sure you use my code HannahStraight at checkout for a discount, and check out the description below for additional details. And now, let's get on to the coffee. For some reason, when you go to a cafe or a coffee house, the blended coffees are always full of sugar and syrups. And I really just like blended coffee with not all that extra stuff. So I've resorted to making my own. I'm gonna take some ice. I'm using my mushroom coffee, which is 7 superfood mushrooms and instant coffee. Screw this on. Well, looks pretty good. Then I just take some cocoa nibs and I grate them a little bit and stick them right on top. Then you just put some chocolate right on top. I'm gonna cheat and use the paper towel. Cocoa with not a bunch of added sugar. See? Perfect. Great way to start the day. Now let's get out there.
The day was bright and sunny and warm. A perfect day to drive deeper into the woods and see elk. I came across some wild elk. Roosevelt elk, a subspecies of elk that nearly became extinct if President Roosevelt didn't step in and have something to say about it. This area is unique because it lies right in between the seashore and the mountains. So you won't find quite as many redwoods here, but you will find it covered in luscious green ferns, spruce trees, oaks, rhododendrons, and azaleas. Any guesses as to where I am yet? Make sure you watch for the clues. Formed over millions of years ago, this canyon was left behind by retreating seas and water draining into the Pacific Ocean. The walls are lined with multiple species of ferns and luscious green moss. At over 50 feet deep, the steep walls block sunlight and trap moisture that drips down the canyon walls for the moss and ferns to thrive off of. You can find all types of magical creatures in this canyon. Here, the fern is king as it sprawls along the walls and scales the canyon's upper limits. A rainforest paradise sitting right on the edge of the ocean. With drooping ferns and hanging gardens and miniature waterfalls around every corner. It's the perfect place to take a walk, get lost, and create your own fairy tale. But don't forget your water shoes. Any guesses on which movie was filmed here?
At least I get a free cup of coffee. Thank you. Well, $95 in gas. I got a free cup of coffee. Not very good, and it's cold, but hey, it's free.
And that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't miss next week's adventure, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.